Nation, episode 14. What's going on, guys? How are we doing tonight? We are going to be talking about the Cowboys being, I think, legit Super Bowl contenders. I actually feel pretty confident in saying that right now, but we're going to get into that here pretty soon. Panel for tonight, Kyle, what up?
What's up? Great to be with you guys again. Let's go Cowboys.
Chris, you have a great name. It's just spelled wrong. How are you doing, my friend?
Well, it's spelled correctly because every grown man I know spell it name Chris, including Christ. But only the girls spell it with, a K or a C. So, hey, brother, if you think Christ is spelled wrong, hey, more power to you. But I still love you.
He was quick with that. He was locked and loaded with that.
Hey, look. I am a December baby. They named me after Kris Kringle, and that's Santa Claus because I love them ho-ho-hos. Rue, what's going on, my friend? How are you doing?
Man, I'm feeling good. I'm feeling good after this weekend. Sitting at number 3, baby. Let's go Cowboys.
Yeah.
Kyle,
Shut up.
You notice something, Kyle? A fake character or a real character. So, hey, you want to be named after some fake? Hey, man. Hey, Merry Christmas, bro.
I'm special, man. That's why my name's Chris with a K, because I'm special. It describes why I was in special ed 12 years ago, but that's besides the point. Screw you guys for being fans of teams that are in the college football playoffs, but we'll see you guys there next year. So, all right, let's get into our topic here before we start talking shit about our college football teams. I believe the Cowboys are Super Bowl contenders, and here's the reason why I say that. So maybe I'm changing the definition of what I think a Super Bowl contender is. I believe that if you are a team that feels like not many teams can go on the field and beat you, like let's just say, for example, if we were to play the San Francisco 49ers, I do not feel good about our chances. But if we were to play any other team not named the San Francisco 49ers, I am very confident in this team going and picking up a W, whether it be at home or at their place. I don't think there's a team in the NFL that scares me outside of the San Francisco 49ers. And this isn't something that, I felt all season. But then when I start to see how things played out around the Cowboys, when I look at the rest of the NFC with, the Lions folding as of late, I don't think that they're the team that, people thought that they were going to be. I look, respect to the Eagles for being 10-2, but at the end of the day, they've had some very close games there. And honestly, I feel like they've been outplayed the last 4 games. I mean, credit to them. They're 3-1 in that stretch, but if I'm the Cowboys, I feel confident about that matchup. I like the matchup that the Cowboys have there. I think that there are some exploitable weaknesses on that Philly team that I think kind of play into the Cowboys' strength. And the reason why a few weeks ago I felt like they weren't legit Super Bowl contenders was because, I was like, oh, Philly looks pretty good here. And then you got to go and play San Francisco as well. I feel more confident now that okay, I don't feel confident that they can beat the 49ers, and I didn't feel confident that they could beat them before. But I do feel confident that they can beat the Eagles and go in there, and maybe they have a chance against the 49ers. You just never know. And the big reason why I say that they're legit Super Bowl contenders is because it's the NFL. It's a week-by-week league. We saw what the 49ers looked like without some of their guys, and this is a war of attrition at the end of the day. So if you can get to that NFC championship or that divisional round matchup with San Francisco, and they're out a guy or two because that just happens in the NFL, especially with the way that team plays, then I feel good about your chances. And if I can only say, hey, there's only one team that I feel confident in us losing to, I think that makes you Super Bowl contenders. But what do you think about that, Ro?
Man, I love our chances. I've been saying it since the beginning of the season. The NFC is completely and totally wide open for everything that we'd have to go through at the tail end of the season. You're absolutely right, man. It's San Francisco and everybody else. The Eagles don't scare me, especially after that first game in the Link, man. I don't care where we play them. I don't care if it's here or there. I feel like we can hang with them in every aspect of the game. Shaq Leonard is not going to save you. I'm sorry to tell you. And I'm telling you like this too, man. outside of us getting in our own way, there are things that I want to see us get better at. There are things that worry me about this team in the latter part of this year, and we're about to find out about it in these next 5 weeks because we're going to have some big tests ahead of us. They're not going to be able to push this narrative of losing teams anymore. All of our competition from here on out are potential playoff teams, if not already locked into the playoffs.
Kyle.
Yeah, I mean, I guess technically all 32 teams are contending for a Super Bowl. I think it's still a little bit too early, to talk about championship or talk about Super Bowl. But I'll tell you what, they're crossing off. If there were a list of things that teams should do in order to, no longer be pretenders, but be contenders and be in that serious conversation, the Dallas Cowboys are doing something that they haven't done in the past few seasons. Is they're winning games that mean something. They're taking care of the teams that they should. And their best players are not just the best players on their team. They're the best players in the league. You got Micah Parsons at the top of Defensive Player of the Year voting. You got Dak Prescott up there in the mix. So they're taking the steps that they should. And like I said, that's not something that we've seen in the past couple of seasons, which should be pretty glaring for Cowboy fans and everyone around the league, is this team is different. They are doing something that they haven't done in the past few seasons. And I'm very excited for Sunday night because I think I don't think it's going to be the affirmation, but I think it is going to be that step in the right direction of where we ultimately want to go. And I'm with Rue. And I said this on this show early on in the season, the Eagles don't scare me at all. And that first game was, ridiculous proof of that. I mean, granted, let's give credit, right? The Eagles did what they were supposed to. They ran the ball. They won the ball. They won the game, whatever. But the Cowboys got in their way. You look back at that game, man, we're going to be looking back at that game, the Dak's foot going out of bounds, Schoonmaker being so close, being at the 6-yard line, and the penalties got us to the 33. Nothing scares me about this Eagles team. I would go so far to say that they are very overrated. And that's not to disrespect them.
Yep.
I think they're a very good and talented football team. That is apparent and that is very obvious. But are they in the conversation like everyone is talking about, that they're the best team in the NFL because they have the best record? They are overrated. That's where I'm at with them.
Hey, Rue, you don't mind dropping the link in the chat so that Brandon Katz can join? Because last time Brandon Katz was in here, he didn't get to face the wrath of the big fella. The big fella was not here, so Brandon Katz did not get to face the wrath of the big fella, saying stuff like James Bradbury is better than Deron Bland. Hey, Brandon, if you want to come in here and come in here at your own, what do they call it, peril or something like that?
At your own risk.
Come in here at your own risk because you're going to get cooked by big fella. But in the meantime, big fella, what do you think about this?
Well, Kringle, thank you for coming to me. Look, man, it's like this.
I got to save the best for last.
The Cowboys, of course, we believe they are Super Bowl contenders just because the build of the team, the athletes we have, and just by our quarterback play and our offensive play, and also our head coach right now is doing a tremendous job. I had to give him props because I was really concerned at the beginning of the season about this West Coast, Texas Coast offense, and it was really giving me a lot of concerns. But now, every time we are at home, we're scoring over 35 points. Okay, we putting points on the board. We're moving the ball. It seems like Dak is in the matrix right now. He's in that zone where he sees everything. Okay, and he sees it before it happens. And as long as our quarterback play is doing what we all expected him to do for the last 8 years, and he continues it, I think it's Super Bowl or bust. But I do agree with everybody. I think it's just really one game at a time right now. I really don't even want to think about it right now. I'm so focused on the Eagles this week, because it's just like one of those games we left on the table. You know, we had saw it from the Eagles for 4 weeks in a row. They should have lost. They should have lost. They should have lost. And then, you know, it takes a team like the Niners, the bully ball, which I wish we kind of developed, but you know, basically go in there and punch you in the mouth and say what you're gonna do about it. I love football like that, you know. So hopefully, excuse me, guys. Hopefully, you know, we'll get in the playoffs. I don't give a damn if we were the first seed, second seed, as long as we in there. Just like Rue was saying about his team, his college team. Hey, we in there, bro. You never know what's gonna happen when you get in there. What Bill Parcells say? Just get in the tournament. You get in it. You never know what's going to happen. So I think the Cowboys on the road or at home, they'll do fine. As long as Dak is in the zone, we'll be good.
Hey, Rue, did Brandon come in? Is he backstage? Oh. All right, Brandon, get your stuff off so that
first of all, I got to
don't take over the show though.
Okay, Tony Gold, I got to call out your bullshit take when you say Philly's overrated. First of all,
watch the
NFL,
cursing. Watch the cursing though, Brandon. Okay. Watch the cursing.
All right, bullshit. So first of all, when you look at the Eagles, there's no team that's overrated in the NFL that's 10-1. This is the NFL. It's not college football. You're not playing Indiana.
10-2.
You're not playing Illinois.
They're playing
10-2.
Yo, Mookie, get in here. The link's in here. Mookie, get in here.
When you say the Eagles are overrated, you can't be 10-1 and be overrated. That logic doesn't work. When you look at the Cowboys, your team has one win. You have one win over a team all year with more than 5 wins. And when you look at the difference between Dallas and Philadelphia, there's 2 big differences between Dallas and Philadelphia. You have no running game. You're not going on the road in the playoffs in bad weather with wind, snow, and rain and winning with 0 running game. The other thing, there's a little bit of a bullshit narrative in Dallas that you guys are pushing about how well Dak's playing. If you look at who's carrying this Dallas offense, it's really more CeeDee Lamb than Dak. Because if you look at Dak's passing numbers, when Dak's not throwing to CeeDee Lamb, when he's throwing to Ferguson, Gallup, or even Brandon Cooks, he's not doing shit. CeeDee Lamb is carrying your ass. And when teams start doubling and bracketing CeeDee Lamb and they make you guys throw to other guys and run the ball, you're going to get cooked. When you look at this Eagles team,
Rue, can you let Mookie in here?
This is my
Rated
final
R
point.
Sports Debate.
When you look at how the Eagles have played, the Eagles have not played that well when you look at how talented their roster is, and they're still 10-1. So the Eagles have
10-2.
They can get better than they are.
It's 10-2, Brandon.
Philadelphia roster.
You're 10-2.
The Eagles roster is significantly better than Dallas.
This dude,
and your boy
I don't even know why we
Atlanta,
always bring this dude on this show. This dude doesn't know his own team. You're going to come in here and tell us about
teams
ours.
Have tape on Bland. They're
the
cooking
same
your
guy
boy.
that told us
So
Gamble,
just like they've been doing to Bradbury all year. Hey, the difference between Deron Bland and James Bradbury is Deron Bland's getting paid what? $800,000. James Bradbury's getting paid what? $12 million?
No. The
Brandon,
difference
talk about how you're
Bradbury
trash
and
secondary,
Bland
man.
is that Bland's career is 5 games and Bradbury's career is 5 years. Your boy got cooked last game.
And still got an interception
on every play.
And still got an interception. And still had a big interception.
Now they know what his techniques are. Bland gambles too much. That's why he's getting these pick sixes, and teams are cooking him. They see his lack of technique. They see how they can get him. Seattle was targeting him with Metcalf, Lockett. They were targeting Bland all game and cooking his ass.
I think that DK Metcalf and Tyler Lockett are pretty good receivers now.
Well, but you said Darian Bland is an elite corner. He shouldn't be.
I never said elite corner.
You said he's better than.
Hold on, Brady. You said
Bradbury ain't elite.
No, I didn't say Bradbury's elite, but I said you said.
Yo,
you said.
All right, hold up, Mookie. But
Darian Bland's a top corner. And
Mookie, before you go,
Tyler Lockett's not a top 20. Tyler Lockett's good. He's not top 20. He fucking cooked Bland all game.
All right, Mookie, before you cook him, big fella, go ahead.
Well, first of all, I enjoyed the 5-minute filibuster about nothing. It was truly about nothing. You just rambled on about things that you know nothing about. You don't even know your own damn team's record. Number one, I like how Philadelphia love to skip
I said
past
they
things.
were.
See, no, I'll let you talk. I'll let you talk. I'll let you talk. I'll let you go and with your long ass filibuster and everything. That's cool. and you want to talk about your 10-1 Eagles, which is actually 10-2. You want to skip forward past that ass whooping you took at home. Okay, and then you want to skip past that. Deron Bland has only been there for 5 games, and he gets cooked and everything. He has more touchdowns than half of your damn team. And then you want to talk about the Cowboys running game. Okay, your running backs rushed for 16 yards in the game. 16 yards. Okay, and then
you're
you
talking
about
one game. I'm talking full year.
No, I'll let you talk, Ramburger. I'll let you talk.
Okay,
so I like the way you come in and you think your team is the greatest team, and then it was proven wrong a week after week. All it did is the Niners just finally just put y'all away. Y'all just hung around in a bunch of games. Y'all ain't did nothing. Only thing your quarterback has done is can get 1 yard. That's the only thing he can do, and throw Hail Marys and hope your receivers bail him out. That's why Dak Prescott is better than your damn quarterback, and you know it, but you want to filibuster because you're an Eagle, you fly, all this other bull crap that y'all do, and don't actually do shit.
You get cooked, man.
Talk a lot.
Wait. So I have a question. You
made it to 3 damn Super Bowls in 90 damn years, and then you want to talk trash. Come on,
your team's won one playoff game in 20 years.
You have selective hearing.
You're wrong.
Memory. You have
one game in 20 years. That's not even true.
That's not even true.
Playoff wins in the last 20 years.
That Eagle crap. Talking about y'all the best.
Come back at us when you know your stats, man.
We don't
go
have
study. Go hit the books.
Your team has 2 playoff wins in 20 years.
Straight up make up shit as you go on too. That's what's even funny.
Your team's been garbage in the playoffs for 20 years.
All week.
Romo was garbage in the playoffs.
We're gonna play the Cowboys.
Hey, Brandon, I have a question. Mookie, before you cook him real quick, Brandon, I have a question. Why do Eagles fans talk about how other teams and other players and other coaches on teams can't get the job done, yet the Eagles can't get the damn job done? 1 Super Bowl in 57 years, and you're over here critiquing other players and coaches and talking about how they can't do anything. Your team can't do anything. Your team can't get the job done. Your players can't get the job done. Your coaches can't get the job done. Because I heard you talk. I heard you talk. You want to know what franchise you're tied with in Super Bowl victories?
The Chicago
Bears.
The
Chicago.
You're on the same tier as the Chicago Bears.
Okay, first of all, the Eagles have
You're
won more
cooked.
playoff games.
No, it's Mookie's turn. It's Mookie's turn.
No.
Let him cook. Let him
cook. Let me say this right quick, man. Randy. I don't know why you praising the fraudulent Eagles, man. They had a Mickey Mouse run to the playoffs, to the Super Bowl last year. They faced the whack Giants team, and then they looked up face the injured Brock Purdy team as well, and they went up to face a Chiefs team that had a great offense, and you look like one of the worst defense in the league, bro. Your team didn't get. Your team must have zero. Your team must have get 0 sacks, and like I said, your team. Hold on, Brandon. Hold on, Brandon. Your team must have get 0 sacks. This is supposed to be elite level defense, and y'all look like one of the worst defense when the Chiefs saw y'all when they had an elite level offense. You talking about fly Eagles fly. Almost every game that y'all been with this season have been a close game. You can make an argument that y'all the version of the 2020-2021 Pittsburgh Steelers. You could have a way worse record than what y'all had, bro. So stop this nonsense. Your secondary is trash. Your secondary can't tackle worth
trash.
Shit. Not only that, your linebackers are not really good. You have liabilities on the defensive side of the ball. You talking about Bland. You talking about the cornerback for the Cowboys. What about Bradbury? Bradbury is nowhere near the same player that he is, bro. He be getting cooked consistently, and he can't tackle. So you talking about that? You don't. If that passing game that on that offense doesn't work out, if The Eagles don't run the ball as effectively as well. Jalen Hurts hasn't developed yet to this elite level passer.
That doesn't matter.
No, they don't. No, they don't. No, the hell they don't.
Yes, they do.
No, they don't.
He didn't watch the game Sunday. He didn't watch the
At
game.
all.
Hey, hold on, let me ask you something. Hold
Bro,
on,
he
Brandon.
don't
Let me
know his own
ask.
Wait.
Hey, Brandon.
Brandon
Brandon, let me
is cooked.
So
Hold on,
first of
Brandon.
all, you just lied about a lot of things. So let me clean this up and educate you. First of all, the Chiefs had less than 340 yards of offense on the Eagles. They didn't do shit against that.
It was
defense.
pouring rain.
Okay. Secondly,
It was pouring rain.
Okay, let's talk about the big difference between Philly and Dallas, okay? Your team, your
we
offense
win?
is living off CeeDee Lamb. The Eagles didn't have Dallas Goedert, Pro Bowl caliber tight end. Eagles have two Pro Bowl receivers. CeeDee Lamb is literally 60% of your targets, 60% of your offense. Your team has no running game. The Eagles have a top 5 running game.
When the
And
Eagles
Dallas, Chris, you know, your take's a clown take. Your team's had no running game all year. The Eagles are an elite running team. That's the
And
difference between
when you stop the Eagles running, hold on, Brandon.
Your team is not.
Brandon, when you stop the Eagles running game, are they an elite level offense? Yes or no?
No, but the Eagles have.
Hey, Brandon, I have a question for you.
No.
Brandon,
So when they couldn't run the football, they look like an average offense, Brandon.
Running team, so that doesn't matter. But
No.
the Eagles are not elite offense when they
Hold
can't.
on,
Hey,
Brandon.
Mookie, I got something for him.
99% of offenses are not elite when they can't run the ball. That means nothing.
No. I'm just saying. There's other offense in the league that can still become a great offense even without elite level running game.
Name one.
So
Horse.
what
What do you mean, bro?
The Cowboys.
Yours?
Yes, they're the number one offense in the league. They're the number one offense in the league, Brandon. They don't. You just hold on, Brandon. Brandon, you just hold on, Brandon. You just sat there and said that. Hold on. Let me say this right quick. You just sat there and said, hold on, Brandon. Hold on, let me get this out right.
Oh, Mookie, I got him. I got him on something.
You just sat there and said that the Cowboys don't have a running game, yet they still have the number one ranked offense in the NFL. When the Eagles can't run the ball effectively, bro, they are an average offense. That is a fact, Brandon. You have sat there and said it numerous of times.
You just said that.
Hold on. When Jalen Hurts cannot have that running game going, bro, that Eagles offense look pretty average, bro. You know it, and I know it. Your defense is one of the worst defense in the league. Not only that, they can't tackle worth shit. Not only that, their linebacker play is terrible as hell.
Okay, wait. So, Mookie, I have a question for you. So you're saying the Eagles' defense is not very good, and you're saying the Eagles' offense is not very good, but the Eagles were 10-1 going into last game.
Brandon.
They play
Brandon,
Hey,
Mookie, I got him on something. Mookie, I got him on something. I got him dead to rights on something. Hey, Brandon, so I have a question for you. You say that the Eagles have an elite rushing attack, yet I'm looking at their stats right here. Where are they elite? Is it yards per carry? Because they average 4.1 yards per attempt. Oh, how many yards per attempt do the Cowboys average? 4.1. Is it their
I'm
yards?
I'm going to completely cook you. So you can finish up, I'll cook you.
Is it their yards? Because the Eagles. No. Shut up, because I'm talking. The Eagles have ran.
I'm gonna completely
No, because the Eagles have ran the ball 26 more times this year than the Cowboys, and they only have 108 more yards on 26 more carries.
You're a barbecue.
Here's an education lesson about how stats work. The Eagles are the best team in the NFL with the quarterback sneak. So the Eagles run Hurts on the twitch push sneak a lot. And when they run that, it lowers their yards per carry. If you look at the Eagles running game outside of the quarterback sneaks they run, where they get 1 to 2 yards, the Eagles completely shit on Dallas when it comes to running the ball. It's an education.
So 26 more carries. So 26 more carries, and you only have
Philly has a far better running game than your team.
Look, I'm not saying you don't.
Missing in the playoffs, Jalen Hurts is going to run a lot more. Part of the reason the Eagles struggled against San Francisco is Hurts has a minor knee injury, so Philly's not running Hurts right now. In the playoffs, the Eagles are going to run Hurts. In the playoffs, let me finish. Let me finish. In the playoffs, the Eagles are going to use Hurts much differently than they are in the regular season. They're going to run him a lot more, and that running game is going to look a lot different than it does.
Did it
liability to the air?
Brandon, why
another level? Dallas is what they are.
Hey, Brandon, did they run the football effectively against the Chiefs? In your opinion?
I think, well, again, in the Chiefs game, you had horrific weather conditions, and I think the running game was touch and go. There were some spots where it worked, some spots where it didn't.
Okay,
hey,
so
Brandon, hey, Mookie, because I want to get some clarification on this
But the
take from
Eagles'
Brandon.
running game will go to a different level in the playoffs when they start running Hurts more.
Brandon, so I have a question for you. So, all right, you bring up the yards per carry thing. You bring up the quarterback sneak. The Eagles have rushed for 26 more attempts, but they only have 108 more yards. And I'm not saying that we have an elite rushing attack, but you guys don't have an elite rushing attack. Where are you top 5 in? Are you top 5 in rushing yards? Are you top 5 in yards per attempt? I mean, what are we doing here? What are you guys top 5 and what metric do you have to prove your point that you guys are an elite rushing attack? Because your team hasn't shown that this year.
Okay, so the Eagles have essentially the same roster. It's basically exactly the same roster that they had last year, okay? It's 4 Pro Bowl offensive linemen. It's Jalen Hurts, who's a dual threat quarterback, and Swift is an upgrade over what Miles Sanders was last year. There's no
I can't tell. I can't tell.
Okay, well, then you haven't watched the games. So
I have.
Well,
I've seen
Swift
less production from your rushing attack.
Okay, Swift has clearly been better than Miles Sanders. But here's the point you're missing.
Yeah, clearly, okay? But he's not as productive as him.
You just asked me a question. Let me finish.
Okay? Yeah, I was just correcting you. He's not been as productive.
That's not true. Okay,
no, it is true.
It's not true. Okay, what I'm saying.
Sanders rushed for 1,400 yards last year.
Right.
Let him finish his answer.
You're not looking at context or yards per carry over the whole season. Miles Sanders was not as good as Swift has been. The difference is that last year Hurts was running far more than he's this year. The Eagles have a different offensive coordinator this year, and they're using Hurts much differently. Okay, the Eagles' offense in their running game will be much better than it is now when they run Hurts a lot more. The Eagles are being much more cautious with Hurts this year than last year because Hurts got hurt late last year, and Hurts has had a minor knee injury this year. When the Eagles start running Hurts aggressively, which is what they're going to do in big games like playoff games, this Eagles offense will go to another level. The Cowboys are what they are. The Eagles can go to another level. They have another gear they can go to with this roster and with Hurts running.
So then why haven't we seen any signs of them getting to that next level?
Well, because first of all, the Eagles have had games.
Their offense has been
good. So, but the Eagles are being cautious with Hurts. They know it's a long season.
I got you. Last question before we get you up out of here. So the Cowboys and Eagles have played 5 common opponents so far this year, right? And you talk about the strength of schedule for the Eagles. Why is it that you guys are taking the Commanders to overtime? Why are you guys losing to the Jets? Why are you guys squeaking out these victories against?
Why Sam Howell throwing 400 yards against that defense and 4 touchdowns?
400 yards. Why does Mac Jones look like Tom Brady? When
why is this happening? Why you talk trash about our schedule, but you guys played 5 common opponents and you're 3-2 against those common opponents. We're 4-1, and you guys flat out struggled against Washington. Why is that?
First of all, divisional games are almost always competitive.
But they weren't competitive with us.
Let me finish. You asked me a question. Okay? So if you look at the strength of the Eagles' wins,
cooking the hell out of
the strength of Dallas's wins, there's no comparison. Philadelphia beat Kansas City. That's far better than any win on the Cowboys' resume. Philadelphia also beat Buffalo. The Cowboys have one win against the team.
No, they don't. They actually have 2. They have 2. No. But I just wanted to fact check you. I just wanted to make sure you got your facts right before you spewed. No. It's actually 2. It's the Rams and the Seahawks. So you're wrong.
Okay. So
you're wrong. And admit that you're wrong. Though.
Okay, that's because the Rams won last week. But again,
but you're wrong.
You don't have a single win against a team that has a winning record right now all year.
Is that our fault that other teams are underwhelming?
Yeah, you got cooked. You don't have a single win.
Is it our fault that Aaron Rodgers got injured week 1? That was supposed to be a marquee matchup week 2. Is it our fault that Kellen Moore can't call goddamn offense and the Chargers are underwhelming? It's not our fault. It's not our fault that the Giants are underwhelming. It's not our fault that the Seahawks lost 2 games to the Rams.
But again, you guys had opportunities to beat teams with winning records. You played Philadelphia,
and you ignore the 5 common opponents. that we've outscored 100 and like plus points.
Okay, well, but you know,
you lost to San Fran as well. You got embarrassed by San Fran as well.
Yeah,
you
that was
got
the argument. That
you
was
got
his argument 2
undressed.
weeks ago, and that was the argument 2 weeks ago. We got
points in the
embarrassed by
NFL.
San
There's
Francisco.
no style
What
points
happens
in
when
the
you
NFL.
lose next
Wins a
week
win, a loss
too?
is a loss.
You got undressed by San Francisco as well. So I don't want to hear this thing.
No,
like,
yeah,
oh,
but
well,
that was your narrative 2 weeks ago.
And you got undressed at home too.
Game in a horrible spot. Again,
Going to move that
Philadelphia has 2 wins against teams with winning records, including a win on the road against Kansas City. You don't have a single win all year against a team with a winning record. Not one.
Oh, boom! Roasted, man. We're so cooked.
No, the key problem with your roster is you have no.
Yeah, all right. Yeah, he's gone. We got to get.
Oh, he's back.
He's back.
I can't.
No,
It's too much.
I mean, you
Oh, he's gone.
Yeah, he's gone.
All right.
Jesus Christ.
All right. Goddamn, Mookie, I cooked the hell out of him. We cooked the hell out of him.
He was smoked, man. He biased the Eagles, man. Told you, man. Eagles is frauds, man.
Hey, Mookie, who you got winning on Sunday?
I got the Cowboys winning. I don't believe in that Eagles defense. Dak should be able to go off on that Eagles defense, that suspect defense. I believe though that if the referees called a fair game in that first matchup, it would have been a different result. But yeah, give me the Cowboys, man. I'm done with these Eagles, bro. I'm tired of this, bro.
And hey, tell him what you told me about Kellen Moore on Sunday.
Oh yeah, Kellen Moore is overrated, bro. I mean, listen,
We
bro.
know, man. We know,
bro. This man just keep on running the football when you know damn well the Chargers ain't got no good rushing offense as well, bro. He does a lot of curl routes. He does a lot of pre-snap motion, which he motioned Keenan Allen to the slot and he motioned him outside. Similar to what he did at CD Lamb. But man, his play calling, his personnel. I mean, against elite level defense this year. I don't know if y'all been paying attention to the Chargers games, but against elite level defenses, bro, there's not one game where he couldn't an elite level defense this season, bro. So he's just not good, bro. He's just not good, bro.
Yeah, no, and yeah, that's the thing going into the season, man, bro. We had to deal with it for 4 years with Kellen Moore. Just every single time, a defensive coordinator like D'Amico Ryans would go up against him and just be.
But it's the thing,
he'd get cooked.
This the thing, though. Like the Cowboys' offense started the year was not looking explosive like it was with Kellen Moore. Like what changed? You know what I'm saying?
Oh, I got it right here because I actually did. I did a live stream yesterday about it. So I have 4 reasons to me. Is one, letting Dak play free. I think that they they were restricting him in the first, I would say, 5 weeks of the season, and honestly, it's because I don't think Mike McCarthy trusted Dak at the beginning of the year. If I'm being 100% honest with you,
I agree.
And he kind of took the chains off Dak Prescott, and Dak Prescott's playing free football, and he's playing a lot better. I got increased use of motion. They were in the bottom 5 or bottom 10 of motion usage at the beginning of the season. They're now in like the top 10 ever since that San Francisco game. Understanding his personnel, there is a hierarchy to targets. Like at the beginning of the year, they were kind of distributing the ball evenly amongst the receivers, but then they realized, okay, how about we target CeeDee Lamb a bunch, but then we go CeeDee Lamb, Cooks, Ferguson, let's get all these guys involved, let's use all their strengths, and then just adjustments to his philosophy, because I don't think his offense, or I don't think his defense is living up to the expectations that he had of the defense. And I think that going into this year, he wanted to do a lot of running the football and relying on that defense to win games. But then he kind of had to switch things up when he realized that wasn't going to work in today's NFL. And, I think all these things, put into one ball has really changed things for the Cowboys. So that's just the stuff. I mean, if you guys have anything, let me know.
Yeah, to top what you said, Chris, and this is kind of how I seen it. you know, just because Mike McCarthy was head coach the past couple of seasons with Dak doesn't necessarily mean that offensive relationship has been established between Mike and Dak. You know, because when Mike becomes offensive coordinator, he gets into the details and he's more intimately, involved in those meetings and in those quarterback conversations.
Hey, Cowboy, I gotta go, man. I'll hit you up, man.
All right, Mook, appreciate you.
So those, you know, first couple of weeks, I always saw it. It's like when you get in a new relationship, right? Like you're getting to know each other. You're getting to know what you like, what you don't like, what you're good at, what you're not good at. And that's essentially what we saw in those first couple of weeks with Mike and Dak. Exactly what you said, Chris. Like it was figuring out his personnel, figuring out who he likes to throw to, where he feels confident throwing the ball. And we've seen that. We've seen and the great thing about Dak is he builds off of that. He gets more confidence as the games go on, and when he gets those tough throws in, and then he just goes off, and that's what we've seen in the past, 6-7 weeks. So, yeah, I completely agree with you. It was exactly that.
Yeah, no, I think that to me, I feel confident about this offense going to the playoffs. I don't think that this is going to be the unit that is going to be responsible for the Cowboys not achieving their goals if they don't do that. It's just, to me, ultimately, it's San Fran, man. It's San Fran, and they're a very annoying thing that we have to deal with. But if we want to get to the Super Bowl, we gotta play them and beat them. And I think, ultimately the way you do that is, one, Dak's got to be top of his game for that game, which I think he will be. I think if they play San Fran again, Dak's going to have a tremendous game. I think the offense is going to put up a much better fight. But, to be honest with you guys, I can deal with holding calls. Like if you're a right tackle and you get blown up and somebody smokes you off the line of scrimmage and they're making a beeline for your quarterback's blind side, I'm fine with you holding. I'm fine with pass interferences if you get beat. But, those things are more so talent issues, right? The Cowboys don't have those issues. They're talented pretty much everywhere, but it's the pre-snap penalties that are really killing this football team. And when you look at their pre-snap penalties and compare them with, I got to go back and look at this stat, but at the time that I looked at it, they were top of the league in pre-snap penalties with teams like the New York Jets, the New England Patriots, the Indianapolis Colts, who are a pretty solid team in the AFC. There's some other really bad teams that are in there. The Chicago Bears. So it's not even one of those things where it's like, all right, that's a bad stat, but you have, good teams mixed in there as well, and every team struggle. Like, no, this is a bad stat. Like being in the top 5 to 10 in the league, wherever they're at right now, in pre-snap penalties it's annoying. Like it speaks to lack of discipline. And I'll say this, I think the offense has cleaned it up a little bit more when it comes to pre-snap penalties, but man, like the defense, it felt like 4 or 5 times the other day, offsides, neutral zone infraction. Like you can't do that against San Fran's offense where, like if it's 3rd and 5, I'm talking to you, J-Ron Curse, like you can't line up off sides. Now that was an incomplete pass that they had that they ended up turning it into a touchdown because you were off sides and you gave them the 5 yards that they needed. So, to me, it's Dak has to play a damn near perfect game, and the defense has to play disciplined football. I'm not even saying that they have to play top of their game. I'm just saying just be disciplined in that game. Don't shoot yourself in the foot. Don't stay on the field longer than you have to. And, again, it's not a perfect game plan for San Fran, but I'm just saying, if we stand a chance, that's the way we're going to do it. Who wants that? Chris, do you want that?
I'm sorry. Do I want what?
Do you want to follow that up?
Oh, okay. I don't know, man. I got lost after the filibuster. It was like 20 minutes of nonsense for me. But it's like this, bro. The Cowboys are in a perfect position to do what they need to do, basically.
Right.
I'm just excited about the team. I really am. You know, we all say this is a different team. It's a different team. It's a different year. Everything's different, but we just need the outcome on the field to be different. Okay, that's all we need. You know, and I think on Sunday night we're gonna see a different outcome because I really believe, man, that they're at a different level right now. In the words of Brandon saying that the Eagles can go to a different level. Well, who's to say the Cowboys can't go to a different level? I mean, we don't know yet. You know, and I love how the people like to push the narrative that the Cowboys hadn't played a winning team. But I want you to go back to the Philadelphia Eagles schedule last year. How many winning teams did they beat? I don't think they beat but one, and I don't think they beat but one until they got to the playoffs. Okay, so you know, well, no, I take that back too because they beat the Giants twice and they beat us three teams.
They beat
three
us
out of
with,
17.
They beat us with Cooper Rush.
Yeah, with Cooper Rush. So, you know, that's how I say other teams have selective memory. I mean, everybody knows about the Cowboys schedules and players, but they don't know shit about their team, and it's just so frustrating when you try to argue a debate with another team as a fan, and they know your stuff, but they don't know their own stuff. So, you know, it's ridiculous to me, man. But hey, as Cowboy fans, that's stuff we got to deal with on a daily basis. You know,
Hey,
I'm sure Cal knows, Rue knows. You know, hey, you get them in your comments on your TikTok. They have no clue about what the hell they're talking about.
Hey, I want to throw this number at you guys. So pre-snap count as of time of recording. Dallas is top 5. The teams ahead of them are Green Bay at 1, Carolina at 2, Indianapolis at 3, Seattle at 4, Dallas at 5, Chicago at 6, Cleveland at 7, New York Jets at 8, Denver at 9, Jacksonville at 10. And then in 2022, let's see this. In 2022, pre-snap penalties, Dallas was top 5 that year. Let's see, 2021. Dallas was number 1 in pre-snap penalties in 2021. Let's go back to 2022. Let's see where they were at then. They weren't in the top. Well, I'm surprised. The last 3 years, they're top 5 in pre-snap penalties. Like, gotta clean that up. Like, you gotta clean that up. This is something that this team has dealt with for 3 years now. You know, so those are the things that aggravate me the most about this team is just the pre-snap penalties and shooting themselves in the foot from time to time. But, you know, oh man, it's frustrating because this is a really good football team and I feel good against them. I feel good with them playing anybody, but the problem is with the way it's set up, with the way it could potentially look, is that you might be getting San Francisco in round 2. I know it's week by week and we have to focus on things week by week, you know, but you might be getting San Fran round 2 of the playoffs this year. And it just sucks because, you know, I love the team, but that's going to be a really tough game. And I'd prefer to play them in the NFC Championship, push that out as far as possible. But like, if that's the case that we go to San Francisco and we lose to them in the playoffs, I will still hold my hat on. You give this team any other team in the league, and I feel confident in them. It's just that particular matchup.
Yeah. Well, back to what you said about penalties, I definitely agree with you there. And I'm I don't know, with penalties, it's obviously a combination of things, right? Like it's the players committing them. But I think as a coach too, you know, you have to have that attention to detail. And for me, I feel like penalties are a reflection of your coach and its discipline. And, you know, I'm not going to put it all on Mike McCarthy, but I do believe I believe in his tenure, you could see the overview of his lack of attention to details. I think that's pretty glaring when we look at Mike McCarthy as coach. And I agree with you. I think, you know, obviously 2 seasons ago, it was a big thing, especially coming up in the wild card game against the 49ers. And that's one thing for it to happen one season and you're like, okay, you know, let's move on, go on to the next season, new coaches, new players. But now, you know, 2 years later, flash forward to this year, for it to be still an issue, you know, is it philosophy? You know, is it the coaching philosophy? Because that's the only way that I can point it to, you know, because you do have different players from who you had 2 years ago. And these simple, you know, well, I don't want to say simple, but just these penalties are occurring and they're killing them, you know, and, you know, it's not anything like pass interference or holding. And, you know, they are some of those calls, right? But like, it's dumb things. That's like offsides, you know, like that's the worst thing to get as a defensive player because it's so simple, right? It's the basic thing. Just don't line over the line of scrimmage or, you know, those sort of things. And, you know, penalties in the red zone too, right? We saw them against Philadelphia. Ooh. That costed that drive. And you know, it was a small detail in the game against Seattle, but that delay of game when we were at the 6-yard line or the 5-yard line or whatever it was, you know, I think against other teams that may be better, you're probably paying for that a little bit, but against the Seahawks, you can sneak by with that. But I completely agree with you. I hope it's cleaned up because you got to be better at that. And hopefully it doesn't catch up to them on Sunday night.
And Kyle, you want to know one thing that I truly believe about this team? It's something that they got to work around. Just like last year, they had to work around the turnovers. They got to work around these penalties. It just is what it is. Unfortunately, what's consistent about this football team is, you know, penalties. It's the most consistent thing about this football team outside of, you know, Dak's play, which has been tremendous. But, you know, it's frustrating because it's something that's been going on for years now, and this issue hasn't been fixed. And to talk about the goal line stuff, like, dude, I got to find this drive. It felt like they were always like, there was a span of drives here where they were getting penalties out of the behind. There was one, Tyler Smith, ineligible down the field. I got to find the other ones. You know, 10-yard penalty on Terrence Steele. He got called for the holding. You know, negative 4-yard sack by the Seahawks in the red zone. You know, these are things that, you know, start to add up. You know, penalties. Like, I'm just looking at the game log here. Penalty in the red zone. It's just penalties and sacks. Like, this team has the talent. I think they have the scheme, but are they detailed oriented enough? Right. And that's ultimately what this is gonna come down to. But does anybody want to follow up on this before we get into this Eagles game real quick?
Well, let's see what's up. He's been waiting for a hot minute in this back room here. So, Leaf, what you got on your mind, man?
Oh wow! Good evening, gentlemen. I seen the title of the show, and I'm not gonna lie, I was highly disturbed. I was highly disturbed. Obviously, yeah, y'all can see it, man.
He's feeling good about his team right now, man.
Yeah, I'm sure.
I don't gotta say anything. I mean, Detroit, Kansas City. I mean, those are some pretty damn impressive wins for the youngest team in the league, especially at this point of the season. We did have some games that got away from us earlier this season with the Falcons game. We blew a 12-point lead in 12 minutes. I think the Raiders game we blew, the Broncos game we blew, which I despise everything. Anytime you lose to Russell Wilson, bro, that's a slap in the face. But
hey, this is what I will say. This is my bold prediction going into the playoffs. I think Green Bay. I think depending on the matchup, I think they can get a playoff win. If they play Detroit, they're going to beat them in the first round.
Well, I would like to go as far as if we play damn near anybody with the momentum that we're grasping, because now the running game is very, very visible. So when you have a visible running game and then you have a good pocket presence like a Jordan Love, you got a pretty good shot to win a lot of these games. You know what I'm saying?
They got a good offensive line as well. John Runyon. I crossed paths with him in high school.
Oh yeah, John Runyon. Yeah, definitely. Runyon and those guys. AJ. When I seen AJ Dillon, obviously I was sold. Obviously, when we came into the back to the season, when Aaron Jones and AJ Dillon, I already said, listen, Matt LaFleur, he has to get out of his own way with the play calling, and he has. But now with Taylor Jr. being unlocked week after week, I think he's being more out of his way because with guys like Watson, Dobbs.
Hey, Leaf, I'm sorry to cut you off here. We got to get into this Cowboys Eagles game. If you want to stick around for it, you're more than welcome to do that.
Yeah. I'll give my quick thing on that that Cowboys game. Y'all gonna get your ass whipped. Y'all gonna get your ass. Like, don't listen. Don't get it twisted. Listen, the Philadelphia Eagles have been slouching this entire year, but I think that ass whipping that they took last week was a wake up call. I think at some point when you have a team, even though they lost the pieces that they lost from last year, at some point when you have a team that has basically kind of slid by most of the week after week with this kind of record,
I'm gonna follow this up.
I honestly believe that when they see y'all, now it's one thing to get beat by the 49ers, but I think it's downright disrespectful. And I'm not an Eagles fan, but I think it's downright disrespectful to get beat by anything the Cowboys and their fan base stand for. That's just me.
I got him. Okay, so you said that they're gonna kick our ass, right?
Oh, they're gonna beat the shit out y'all. This is gonna be brutal.
They got to get a stop on defense to do that, right?
Yeah, they will.
You sure about that? They're the worst third down defense in football. They're one of the worst passing defenses in football. That's it's been all year with them. This isn't something that just occurred recently. Right. So they got to get a stop to kick our ass, and they haven't kicked anybody's ass all year. So I don't know why you feel so confident in that prediction.
With all of that being said, I am one to believe that the NFL is a week-to-week league. So the teams that have been struggling in certain categories and coming up into like previous week, like week after week,
that's the biggest lie. NFL's a week-by-week league. That's the biggest lie.
Yeah, I mean, it's a week-to-week league, bro. Like, I mean, I'm one to believe that.
It's a lie. It's a lie.
That's just my belief.
I get it, but it's a lie because when you've been struggling with something all year long,
that means you do for a game. That means you do for one game. That means you do for one game.
They already had their game 2 weeks ago in Kansas City.
Maybe.
All right, this was fun.
What's the point of this?
My bad, man. I just came to bother y'all, man. My bad.
All right, bro. I'll talk to you.
All right. Later.
That's it. Oh man, I love it. All right, what's that? All right, quick.
I thought you knew him.
No, I didn't know him. No, never met him in my life. That's besides the point. Good guy. This is what I'll say about this game. I think the Cowboys win this game, and I think they win this game by double digits. I think that the strength of this Cowboys football team is their passing attack. They're one of the best passing attacks in football. Their quarterback might be the best quarterback in football right now. That connection with Dak and CeeDee Lamb is real. Ferguson, Cooks, these nice complementary pieces that they have. One thing that the San Francisco 49ers exposed with the Philadelphia Eagles that I don't think enough people are talking about, when the Eagles get in that 3-4 front, it's difficult to run the football on them, but what happens is they're suffering in coverage, and when you have the problems on the back end that they have with having to commit more guys to the box and to the line of scrimmage and stuff like that, it opens up things on the back end. And I think the Cowboys the 49ers exploited that on Sunday. But when the Eagles got in their 4-3 fronts, the 49ers ran the football all over them. So look for the Eagles to do that because they don't have linebackers that fit the run well at all. So I think that the Cowboys are going to have much more success this time around on the ground due to the fact that Kyle Shanahan put that on tape. When they're in 3-4, throw the football. When they're in 4-3, run the football. And, that's something that teams have been exploiting here over the last few weeks. So I think that Dak is going to give you a similar performance to what you saw in week 6. I think the defense will be a little better, and I think they're going to run the ball better. And I think because of that, with the fact that they're playing at home as well on a 10-day rest compared to the Eagles in their 7-day rest, I think that has all the ingredients of being a double-digit win for the Cowboys. Who wants to follow that up?
Yeah, absolutely. I'll piggyback off of you. Looking at this game, studying it, seeing both teams, I can't help but think that unbiasedly and realistically, Cowboys take care of business. I got them winning 34-17. I got them taking care of business and pretty decisively. And again, not to say that the Eagles are not a good team. They're a good team. They're talented. We're going to see them again. But, you can't. These are two good teams. And to say one of the teams was going to sweep the other before the season began, that's just being naive on both parts of the fan base. You got two good teams, and both of them are going to protect home court, home field. And the Eagles take it in Philly, and we take it in Dallas. And we're going to meet again in the playoffs. So that's where I'm at.
Absolutely. We're going to save the best for last with you, Chris, so I'll let you go, Real.
Man, for me, it all comes down to down and distance, just like it did the first time we played them. They start every drive 1st and 8.5, and that's a fact. If they fall into a 3rd and 2, 4th and 1, they're getting that first down, and that they've been the best in the league at doing that. The biggest thing for me is, man, we can't get in our own way. Can't get in our own way. And just like y'all were talking about with the penalties, these offside penalties on this defense has been absolutely crazy. So I don't want to see, us getting our own way in that aspect. But for me, man, we're going to use and abuse that secondary. The first game was it was sickening to watch, just because you're watching it the whole time feeling like we had a grasp on the game, and just Terrence Steele became a turnstile, and it was a wrap from there. So it was just like, I'm hoping to see what we've been seeing from Terrence Steele these last few weeks in this Philly game. I want to see the Terrence Steele that's taking two guys out at the same time, not the one who's getting spun around talking about help. No, I ain't trying to see that this week. Can't have that against this front, because as bad as they might be in the linebacking core and in their secondary, their front is aggressive, and their front can create pressure.
Yeah, big fella. And big fella, if you can read that chat, there's a gentleman named Brandon Katz in there. So if you want to respond to any of his comments, that's perfectly fine. But if not, you can continue. You can create your diatribe about this game.
Well, we've already had enough of Brandon's bull. There's no need for me to reply to nonsense that makes no sense. So I don't really need to. I mean, because he can go to my TikTok and YouTube. He know how I feel about the damn Philadelphia Eagles. First of all, I deal in facts, such as Kyle, such as Chris, such as Rue. That's why you brought us all together, because of facts. I didn't have to study this game at all. I mean, it's just common sense to me that the Cowboys have no choice but to win this game. The Cowboys are in the middle of a gauntlet. It started last week. You got to win one game at a time, because the Cowboys are already in the playoffs right now. These are the playoff teams. We're playing playoff football right now. Okay, so the Cowboys need to win the game. They're going to be at the beautiful AT&T Stadium. It's going to be jammed to the Raptors with nothing but insane Cowboy fans, where the Cowboys thrive. I think the Cowboys are going to dust these Eagles off. Is no debate about it. It's going to happen, whether Brandon likes it, whether Eagle fans like it or not. It's going to happen. Okay, and then, like Kyle say, we'll meet again and we'll sell it on the field again. So that's my point. I don't know why we entertain nonsense such as Brandon, but hey, it is what it is. I know it's an entertainment purpose thing, so it's cool. But yeah, the Cowboys going to dust them really, really well.
And the fact is, Vegas told you everything that you needed to know about the Eagles last week. Home dog against the 49ers. And what are they this week? Since they're so much better than us, tell me why aren't they the favorite? Why aren't they the favorite? Why are the Cowboys -3.5 at home?
And the thing is, you usually get the road 3 points. Like, that's usually the separator between the two. But they gave them 3.5, which means Vegas thinks that Dallas is a better team than Philly. And I think so as well. Like I look at the weaknesses on the Eagles, and look, one thing that you can't be in today's NFL is a bad pass defense. You can't have that and win a Super Bowl, because of how explosive some of these offenses are. And Brandon can debate it all he wants. He can cry in the comment section. He'll be crying some more after
I love
Sunday
how they
night.
say we always bring up the past, but we're talking about this season right here, right now. What's he want to talk about? Tony Romo. Like, what are we doing right now? What are we doing right now?
I think
Tony
Romo
is in
only
the
lost
box,
to him
man.
maybe
Tony worked for
once.
CBS.
I think Romo only lost to him once, maybe.
Yeah, I think it was that week 1 game.
Yeah, Tony
Vegas-
Romo cooked their ass. So,
Hey,
doesn't know,
With broken
you're right.
ribs, with the punctured lung at
Hey.
San Francisco.
you better raise up
Brandon-
on Tony Romo. Tony
Bra-
Romo,
With Jesse
y'all were
Holley.
happy Tony Romo retired. Shit,
Jesse
Tony Romo
Holley went
killed it.
77 yards. It must be a reality show. Hey, I'm gonna leave Brandon with this. Oh, where'd it go? Vegas doesn't know S either. They knew y'all were getting your asses kicked on Sunday,
Yeah,
and they were
sure as
right.
hell did.
Romo has
Hell
won
did.
one more than one playoff game, Brandon. Brandon, you don't know your stats. Go study, go Google some stats. Once you find out their stats, maybe people might take you seriously.
This
Go
man
do your
doesn't know
homework.
his own team. This is the same guy that 2 weeks ago told us that Philadelphia plays conservatively because they've been in so many leads this year. Every single one of your games is a one-possession game, and you're in here talking about they're in coverage defense and letting teams catch back up to them. Last
Also,
few
Brandon-
games you've been playing from behind. Like, come on,
Brandon,
man!
it's late.
You don't even
It's
know
a
your
school
own
night.
team.
You got school tomorrow. Go to sleep.
Well, actually, your run game isn't very good. Your defense sucks, and Bland sucks.
He's one of many Philadelphia fans that still live in their mom's basement. So go to bed, bro.
You got school tomorrow. You got to get the
pull
bus.
your blankie, your
Get your
Eagles
rest.
blankie over you, and get your nice little night. Try to forget about what just happened to you last week.
Oh man.
And it's about to
All right,
happen
guys.
again. That's the worst part. It's about to happen to you again.
Oh yeah, y'all are getting smacked on Sunday.
Hey, Brandon, bookmark this. Come back. We'll see you next week.
Bro, he ain't gonna be back because when we win these next 5 games, then what's the narrative gonna be? Then what's he gonna say?
Well, your defense sucks, and
then what's he
Bland
gonna say?
sucks, and Bradbury's great.
And what's funny is you're so worried about my quarterback, you're like negating the entire fact that, bro, Jalen has been a liability for y'all in the past game. If you don't get into those short yardage situations, you guys are.
Yeah. Well, oh man, what a show tonight, man. What a show. I was tired at the beginning of this show. I'm not tired anymore. Gentlemen, I'll see you guys next week. Rude, do the honors. End the stream.
Dallas Cowboys for life. Peace.
Peace.